Hello everyone. Today I'm talking about infidelity and affairs as seen through astrology. And the following is based on Parashara and Jaimini techniques. This goes for both men and women's charts. And at the end of the talk, I will analyze John F. Kennedy and Tiger Woods' charts to illustrate the examples. Okay, so there are two aspects to infidelity. Today I'm talking about the first aspect, which is a person having a tendency not to be monogamous. This has nothing to do with a person seeking another relationship while they are still in one. That is something different. What I mean by that is the person is unhappy in their relationship, so they go seeking another relationship before they've actually ended the relationship they're in, or the marriage they're in, whatever the case may be. Okay, so continuing on. I will discuss in subsequent videos about a person's unique capacity to have good relationships and how you can see that in the chart. I'll talk about that in later videos. I'm going to kind of switch gears here and do some videos about relationships. Firstly, let's discuss the general method that is based on the myth of the moon as mentioned in Parashara. Okay, so the myth of the moon had 27 wives, and those wives are the nakshatras, the 27 nakshatras. And in the Western astrology, they're called lunar mansions. And he went around the zodiac, he went through each nakshatra and visited each wife. And his favorite wife was Rohini. And he spent too much time with her, so he was cursed by the father-in-law with consumption. So half of the month he wastes away, or he wanes. And his father-in-law, of all these 27, they were sisters actually, he sentenced him to die of consumption because of this. So all of his daughters got together and complained and said they didn't want him to die. They just wanted him to spend more time with them and not Rohini. So the father-in-law amended that sentence, and now he can become full again, and then half of the month he grows and half of the month he wanes, or he waxes and wanes. But after all of these 27 wives, he also had an affair with Jupiter's wife, and Jupiter's wife's name was Tara, and Tara means star. And they had a son named Mercury. Mercury was the son of the moon and Jupiter's wife Tara. And so he wasn't even satisfied with 27 wives. He had to have Jupiter's wife as well. So and then also Parashara says about the moon that he is lovesick. And when so he's naturally drawn to whoever he puts his fancy on, and when he becomes, I guess you could say, in a relationship with one of them, then he kind of gets lovesick for someone else. So that's the nature of the moon. Now, if the moon is afflicted in a chart, and the more afflicted it is, then the person will have a tendency not to be monogamous and seek out affairs. Okay, now affliction is when the moon is conjoined malefics, especially Rahu, and then Saturn, and then Ketu, Mars, and then the Sun. He doesn't have to be actually joined, he can also be aspected by these malefics. The more of a malefic influence to the moon, the higher the chance of infidelity. Then you also have to look at the 12th house, because the 12th house is the house of illicit affairs, secret, hidden things, and illicit affairs is obviously hidden. And so you have to have either the moon in the 12th house, or the 12th lord conjoined in the moon, or the 12th lord Rashi aspecting the moon, or the moon actually being the 12th lord, as in Cancer being the 12th house, or the 12th house cusp being in Cancer. Okay? Now these are the indications, the general indications according to Parashara and the Parashara system. Now there are other indications in Jaimini, which work very well, as you will see when we look over John F. Kennedy and Tiger Woods. Okay? Okay, now if the Atmakaraka planet is in a sign of Venus or Mars, which is Aries, Taurus, Scorpio, or Libra, or it's in a sign of Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the moon, okay? Then the likelihood of infidelity is greater. And if Rahu, Venus, or Mars conjoin or aspect, and I'm talking about Rashi aspects, sign aspects, the Atmakaraka in one of these signs, the percentage of likelihood of an affair goes even further. It's almost guaranteed, okay? Now, there is an exception. If K2 aspects any of these combinations, then the meeting is arrested. That's what Jaimini says. Or the affair somehow stops before it starts. Now, this only works if there is one aspect of the infidelity showing in the chart for K2 to counteract it. If there is more than one infidelity aspect, then K2 does not stop the affair. Okay? Now, another big indication of affairs is a Venus-Rahu combination in a man or a woman's chart. And it doesn't matter what sign it's in, but it becomes that much stronger if it's a sign of Venus or Mars or the moon, like Cancer. And the reason that is because Rahu is new experiences. Rahu brings us into new experience, and Venus obviously is romance and love affairs. So when Rahu is with Venus, or when Rahu is with Venus, it pushes us into situations where we have to have those experiences ruled by Venus. Now, and that is actually part of the person's evolution. That is part of the person, why they came here in this lifetime. That Rahu is the incarnator. Rahu is what brings us into incarnation. Rahu brought the earth up from the waters into consciousness, into actual manifest reality. That's the avatar of Rahu did that. It was a boar called Varaha. And so that's what the whole the Rahu is bringing us the earth, basically. Rahu is saying, here it is. This is what you wanted. Here you go. And so we can't ignore what Rahu brings to us, because we have to work through it, because we have to learn, we have to create balance where there is none. And that's what Rahu and K2 are all about. And that's basically what rules our life here on planet Earth, are Rahu and K2, both of them. But anyway, that's another video, which I'm going to get into. So I'm not going to go into that too much right now, but that's why Rahu, Venus actually can indicate affairs, especially if they're in the sign of Venus or Mars, if they're conjoined, okay? Now, you look for this first and foremost in the 7th divisional chart, which is called the saptamsa. This is the chart of the desire, and it's a derivative of the 7th house, and I'm going to put in the description how to calculate the saptamsa. It's very easy. You look for this first there, and then you look in the Rashi, or the birth chart, okay? It can be in both, it can be in one or the other, but if you see a lot of indications, like I just mentioned, then that person will probably have a tendency to have affairs and not be monogamous. Now, if the person wants to be monogamous, if they are trying to be monogamous, you have to look at everything. You have to look at how many how many negative aspects there are, or how many aspects I just mentioned. And if it's a lower number, and then you also have Ketu in there arresting the affair or stopping the affair, then the person can overcome that if they really want to. But the desire, a very strong desire, has to be there. Okay, got it? All right, let's move on. Okay, oh, and another thing. One more thing, and then we'll look at charts. Okay, if the person has Jupiter aspecting any of these combinations, the Venus Rahu combination, the Atmakaraka in a sign of Venus or Mars or Cancer, or the Atmakaraka conjoined Venus or Mars, or being aspected by Venus or Mars. Now, if Jupiter also aspects, or if Jupiter conjoins the Atmakaraka in this, then it says the subject is ruled by women and he's worthy of women. And that also applies to men, or men for women as well, meaning the person may not be monogamous, but when they are in affairs or whatever it is, then the person that they're in the affair with, the women or the men, are very happy with them and are very elated, overjoyed to be with them. And they're very good at making the other person feel validated and worthy and happy. Okay, so they're very good with women. You know, like a guy who treats women well, but you know he's not monogamous. But when he is with a woman, she feels validated and accepted and happy. And when they do break it off, she's not overly resentful or angry. Okay, and that goes for women and men as well. Women in affairs with men as well. Okay, so that's all right now, and then we're gonna go over some charts. I'm gonna look quickly at John F. Kennedy's chart and Tiger Woods' chart. Okay. Okay, here we have the chart of John F. Kennedy, and he was pretty famous for the many affairs he had. One of them, Marilyn Monroe, plus another, several other interns and what have you. Okay, so now remember what I said about the moon. Okay, when the moon is afflicted in a chart, the more it's afflicted, the higher likelihood of affairs. Also, the 12th house is affairs, or illicit affairs, things that are hidden. So here he has the moon in the 12th house. Generally, that's not enough to do it. There has to be some malefic influence to the moon, okay? Is there? Yep, there is. Saturn is aspecting the moon. In the Vedic system, Saturn aspects the 7th from it, the 3rd from it, and the 10th from it with full 100% aspects. Now, this isn't a full 100% aspects because the moon is not at 27 degrees, but it's a little bit off. But this is going to get kind of technical, so I'm not going to go into it. But the Saturn is aspecting the moon to 40 points. The highest is 60. Anything over 40 or over 30 is considered high. Saturn is aspecting the moon. So is the sun. The sun is aspecting the moon, not to a full, it's actually to 40 points as well. And then also Venus is. But Venus really doesn't do anything to stop this, okay? So malefics are aspecting the moon, and the moon is in the 12th house, okay? Now, on top of that, he has Saturn in Cancer, okay? Cancer is one of those signs that can give infidelity. And then he has Mars, Rashi aspecting Saturn in Cancer. Now there is one, Ketu is the arrested, stopping these affairs. But there's two of these. There's Saturn in Cancer and there's Mars aspecting Saturn in Cancer. So Ketu isn't able to stop it, okay? And then he also has that afflicted moon. So So all in all, this is a chart, or this is a birth chart now. This is the birth chart we're looking in. Will show a tendency to have affairs, or for infidelity. Okay, so now you go to the saptamsa. This is the 7th divisional chart, and oh, by the way, Saturn is his Atmakaraka. I don't remember if I said that or not, but Saturn is John F. Kennedy's Atmakaraka. And also, I just want to throw this in here. You can really see how he was killed in this 8th house. 8th house is the house of violence, and Mars is there, but that's another video. So anyway, moving on. So, okay, we're in the saptamsa, and so where's the Atmakaraka in this 7th divisional chart? It's here in Cancer again. Okay, so there's one right there. There's no aspect from Ketu, and no aspect from Venus or Mars. But look at Venus and Rahu right here, and almost right on top of each other. There's a Venus-Rahu conjunction in his saptamsa. So this really shows a man who cannot be monogamous, and you know, he's going to be brought into several different new experiences of women, basically. So so yeah, this is a perfect chart to illustrate this. Now let's go to Tiger Woods. Okay. See this? All right. Tiger Woods' Atmakaraka is Venus, and it's in a sign of a sign of Mars, and it's conjoined Rahu, and it's Rashi aspected by Jupiter. No aspect by Ketu. So he's worthy of women, like I mentioned, and you know, he gets a lot of women, and women are generally happy with him, except for his wife. I mean, all the affairs he had, I think they just had good things to say about him. And then obviously this Venus-Rahu conjunction, that's going to make things very, you know, he's going to get himself into affairs with women. He came on this planet, one of the reasons is to experience a lot of different love situations, or romantic situations. Okay, let's go to the the moon here is aspected by Mars, Rashi aspected, and planetary aspected, and the moon is waning, and it's not really the 12th lord is Rashi aspecting Venus and Rahu, so there you go. Okay, but you can mainly see it in this Venus-Rahu conjunction, aspected by Jupiter, aspected by the 12th lord. Now, if we go over to his saptamsa, the 7th divisional chart, we see that Venus is also here in Scorpio, and what's he aspected by? And he's aspected by Jupiter, Rashi aspected by Jupiter. Where's the 12th lord there? The sun. So there's another another aspect of him being, you know, extremely amorous, and someone who needs a lot of different experiences in the romantic area of life. But this Venus Rahu here in Scorpio is really enough to do it. But then he's also got these other things indicating. So all in all, you know, a very amorous person. Okay, so I just wanted to point those out, and let you know that I'm going to be making a lot more videos on relationships in the upcoming days and weeks. So please, if you like this video, please hit like, and if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe. Okay, thanks very much.